I started my full-fledged preparation after I joined the Ultimate Assessment Program at Civils Daily.
There is a 12-month strategy which I have done on Civils Daily platform only.
I reached out to the Civils Daily team.
Civils Daily.
Current affairs में Civils Daily.
Civils Daily. With Civils Daily.
Civils Daily.
Civils Daily. Civils Daily. To Civils Daily.
Civils Daily.
Civils Daily.
With Civils Daily. Civils Daily.
Civils Daily.
A mentorship program of Civils Daily, and that did help me a lot.
So superficial reading is not enough. That's where CD's annotated NCRTs come into picture and make a beginner's life easy when it comes to NCRT reading. On the left hand side, it's also you can see a table which generally people ignore. As a beginner, I would have completely ignored this table, but it is important because it's color coded in blue. So it's basically multiple activities combined into one. You don't have to run behind PYQs separately. You don't have to run behind NCRT separately. Everything in one place. There are two scenarios, right? After reading NCRT, you might feel everything is important, or the second scenario can be you might feel nothing is important. So these two scenarios can happen. That's where this will help you actually, filter out the content, saying that, see, you can ignore everything else, but at least read the color coded ones. In the first reading itself, you can so efficiently read NCRTs and hit the questions right. Like, you can actually score more marks now once you know how to read it. Hello everyone, I'm Sri Lakshmi. I've cleared UPSC Civil Service Examination 2023, and in this video, I'll be talking to you about CD's annotated NCRTs. So when we hear the term NCRTs are the basic foundation books we all read as UPSC aspirants, right? And we get a lot of direct questions from NCRT in UPSC prelims examination. But even though a lot of aspirants read NCRTs, we get a lot of questions from NCRTs wrong. Why are we not able to score? This question has always arisen in our minds, right? What are we doing wrong? First thing is that we are not able to map NCRTs to PYQs or PYQs to NCRTs, right? And the second is we are not able to give disproportionate attention to certain sections of NCRT. These are the two major issues when it comes to reading NCRTs. We generally read cover to cover. We don't know where to give more attention to, which portion UPSC has already asked questions. We are like, we do PYQ analysis, we read NCRTs, but these two activities are disconnected in nature. We are not linking it or connecting it and not, combining both of these activities. This is a common mistake we do, right? So it is very, very important to read NCRTs in an exam-oriented manner, where, in the first reading itself, we need to read in such a way that it is PYQ relevant. We need to understand the relevance of PYQs from NCRTs, because the kind of questions UPSC is asking from NCRT, it is not simple question. It is a difficult level question, right? So we need to actually learn to extrapolate our knowledge from NCRTs, research a little more, and understand what kind of questions can probably ask from NCRTs, right? So superficial reading is not enough. That's where CD's annotated NCRTs come into picture and make a beginner's life easy when it comes to NCRT reading, right? I'll be just showing you, walking you through the annotated NCRT of history. Okay, this is the part 1 theme in Indian history, part 1. So what CD has done is there's a highlight guide. Okay, so this is a color coded NCRT annotation. Color coded, why? Because it's actually visually helping you segregate different information. Like if it's a green color content, it is basically showing you that these are the areas from where PYQs have already been asked. So that means it is important. It's a PYQ. It can be PYQ repeated theme, right? Blue. What does blue indicate? It indicates the other important areas from where the questions are possible, where students should pay extra attention to. So when we are reading, we will never know which content to pay extra attention to, right? We do not generally give disproportionate attention. This is where this particular annotated NCRT comes into picture. Pink is purely factual statements like year and all. You can keep in mind. Peach color is for the terms and their definitions given in NCRT. So sometimes you have often seen questions like certain terms are given from ancient history or medieval history or modern history, and then they ask the meaning of it, right? So such terms and definitions are color coded in peach. Then comes the yellow color codes for those statements which sound extreme but are true. So in general, what happens is there is this elimination technique which we all follow, that if an extreme statement is given in the question, it's probably wrong. That's a general assumption. But what if an extreme statement is given and if it is right? Okay, such kind of lines or statements need to be given more attention, and that is color coded in yellow. Okay, so just imagine if this was not done, we would have probably ignored such kind of important lines. For example, the blue, this is Harappan seal is color coded in blue, which is an important area, right? Here you can see the Harappan seal is possibly the most distinctive artifact of the Harappan or Indus Valley civilization, made of a stone called steatite. Seals like this one often contains animal motifs and signs from a script that remains undeciphered. The script is undeciphered. Now, this is a very, very important information. But when I'm starting my reading of NCRT, I might probably ignore this statement, right? I would I might skip to something like this, like beginnings. I might read from beginnings, but I might not focus on this particular portion, right? Again, it's given here, not yet deciphered. Then here it's given the geographical extent of IVC. Like on the top, it's Manda in Jammu Kashmir. In the south, it's Daimabad in Maharashtra. And then west and the east cities also they have given. So it's basically helping you figure out what it is. Okay. So then next comes terminologies, places, and time. Now this is color coded in pink. Now what is pink? It's purely factual statement like year. Okay. And others are color coded in blue. Now, what is it? The total time span of the civilization ranges from 6000 BCE to 1300 BC. The early phase termed as early Harappan, okay, is a formative phase. Urban phase of civilization as a mature. So these are like completely factual. That's why it's color coded in pink, right? It's the most phosphorus phase, and then a prosperous phase. And the decline of the civilization starts around 1900 BCE and is termed as a late Harappan. Not that important, but it's factual in nature, right? Next, distinctive Harappan pottery bricks, seals, weights, beads, copper, and bronze articles. Very important. You need to know what are the kind of materials that are found in Harappan civilization. Then it's found in the region as apart from Afghanistan, Balochistan, Sindh, Punjab, province of Pakistan, and Indian states of Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana. So you need to know the geographical location as well. Sometimes UPSC can probably ask from this, right? Then again, even in the map, you can see it's color coded. Now it's color coded in blue, right? I hope it's blue. Yes, blue and green. Now green is already been asked. Like Rakhigari is the largest site in India, which is already asked. Kalibangan is already asked. That's why it's color coded in green. Fire altar, bangle making, plowed field, all these were found in Kalibangan. Then Manda could probably be asked because it's the northernmost site of IVC, right? Harappan could be asked because it's the first site to be discovered. Mother goddess, granaries, red male torso was all found in Harappan. So could be probably asked, right? Bronze dancing girl, priest king, where was this found? Mohenjo-daro, which has already been asked. So all these green already been asked. All the blue one could probably be asked in the future, and it's an important one, right? So here you can see PYQ on identifying Harappan sites. Clear? Now the beginnings. Now I can actually ignore the other ones which are not that color coded. I can actually save my time here. Right, beginnings. There were several archaeological cultures in the region prior to mature Harappan. So I know that there were a lot more cultures before Harappan. Harappan was not the first one to start with, right? Then settlements were generally small. There were virtually no large buildings. Very, very important. It's already been asked. That's why it's color coded in green, right? On the left hand side, it's also you can see a table which generally people ignore. As a beginner, I would have completely ignored this table. But it is important because it's color coded in blue. Most of these sites are found located between Indus and the Saraswati River basins. Nearly 2/3 of these settlements are in Saraswati basin, right? 5 major cities: Rakhigadi, Mohenjo-daro, Harappan, Dholavira, and Ghaneriwala. Okay? So these are important ones. Then again, subsistence strategies. Again, here the PYQs are attached. Like, which of the following pairs are correctly matched? It's asked in 1988. Lothal, ancient dockyard. Sarnath, first sermon of. So it's important. So PYQs are also given, which makes our life easy, right? Which one of the following is not a Harappan site? Asked in 2019, right? Then there is no mention of cow on seal. So now when we read in general, we read like animal bones found at Harappan sites include those of cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo, and pig. Okay, so I'm reading NCRT for the first time. I read this statement. Now the question comes that there is no mention of cow on seal. Now I might find this to be an extreme statement and make it wrong. But there is actually no mention of cow because I have in NCRT I had read cattle was there, sheep was there, goat was there, probably cow was also there, but cow was not mentioned on a seal. That is a very important statement here, which I would probably miss out if I did not have an annotated NCRT, right? Okay, then rhinos and elephants are also known to Harappan people, right? Again, you can see here Dam, Sadar, Kot, Diji, Amrinal, Siswal. These are important ones. Early Harappan occupation refer to different IVC sites on maps, right? It's already given here. Now, bones of fish, fowl are also found. Prevalence of agriculture. Now, what were the crops which were cultivated? Rice, cotton cultivated since IVC, right? We need to know this. Now, bull was known, oxen. So it's basically helping us, filter out the content, important content, which is UPSC relevant. That's it. Right? Superficial reading is not enough. It's actually telling you to go refer to different IVC sites on maps. So you need to do an extra work as well, right? So it's basically helping you do your NCRTs efficiently, right? You can see again 2011 question is attached here. So it's basically multiple activities combined into one. You don't have to run behind PYQs separately. You don't have to run behind NCRT separately. Everything in one place. Okay, again, you can see here questions have been added. Mohenjo-daro, Plant Urban Center, again, map. Okay, color coded. Even you don't even have to make notes out of it now. Like once it is color coded, you can only read the color codes when you're doing the revision, right? You can see citadel, secular buildings, ritualistic purpose, Great Perth was used. So we need to know that as well, right? Tracking social differences. What were the social differences at that time? Okay. Now, green, already asked. Blue, probably can ask. Important. Gold, two were rare. Gold was rare at that time, right? Again, extra information. Know the different metals known to IVC people, which is copper, bronze extensively. Gold, very rare. Iron, not known at all. Iron came post-Vedic, right? So that is very important to know. Metals of IVC, no iron. Okay, so when such statements comes like there was, no, iron was not known to IVC people, we might consider it to be an extreme statement, but it is a true statement, right? Again, PYQs attached. Again, color-coded important information. So this is basically theme 1 of modern history, right? Now I'll just take you through the part 2. All right, this is part 2. Again, color-coded. You can see eyes of, India through the eyes of travelers. Again, Al-Biruni from Uzbekistan, Vijayanagara Empire, very important. And again here, you can see what was yellow. Yellow was for those statements which sound extreme but are true, right? So he did not know Greek. Now sometimes the question comes that Al-Biruni knew Greek. We might assume it to be true because he's a traveler, he might know, but he did not know. Or if the question comes, he did not know Greek, we might consider it to be an extreme statement, but it is true, right? Note the language used for different texts. Okay. These are something which will help you figure out. Now, Al-Biruni wrote in Arabic. Know the languages used. You need to know in which all language did he translate or did he write. So he wrote in Arabic. He was familiar with translations and adaptations of Sanskrit, Pali, Prakrit text into Arabic, right? He was also critical about the ways in which these texts were written and clearly wanted to improve on them, right? Even on the right-hand side, you can see a box. The term Hindu was derived from an old Persian word. This is also given. Ibn Battuta, Rila, very important. All marked in blue. That means it is important. Marco Polo, important. have general idea about the places visited. So it's actually giving you guidelines as well. If you're reading something, like you need to have an idea. You see, first reading, generally, I would have ignored this map. I don't care where he went, right? Where all he visited. But it is saying that you need to have a general idea about the places visited. So I would actually pay extra attention here. Places visited by Ibn Battuta in Afghanistan, Sindh, and Punjab. Right? It could probably be asked. Then similar questions can be asked. Already a question has been asked. So from Ibn Battuta also a similar question can be asked. So it's actually helping you, saying that a question has already been asked. A similar kind of question can be asked from this as well, which we generally don't do, right, in the first reading or the second reading. Enjoyment of curiosities. Again, green. French jeweler already asked. That's why it's marked in green. You can see blue as well. And right hand side also you can see a similar kind of question which has already been asked. So PYQs also they have included in this itself. Again, here a guideline saying that have a basic understanding of what the travelers thought about the society and places visited. It's very important, right? Did they think about Indian society in a positive way or a negative way, or what kind of society did they describe in their works? Such kind of things you need to know, right? See, Alberoni's description of the caste system. What did he think about it? Did he draw any parallels to any other societies? These are things you need to know. Again, marked in peach as this is again terms that can be asked, right? Antyaja, literally born outside the system, so that can be asked. So just while going through this itself, you know how easy it is to go through this in comparison to a normal NCRT which is there in your house, right? Similar questions, again, questions have been asked here, right? So it's actually in the first reading itself, you can so efficiently and so efficiently read NCRTs and hit the questions right. Like you can actually score more marks now once you know how to read it, right? This is the part two. Then I'll just take you through the Indian society, so Indian polity NCRTs. Okay. Again, color coded. Here you can see Here you can see first function of constitution is to provide set of basic rules that allow for minimal coordination amongst the members of society. This can probably be asked, right? All others I can skip. Second function of constitution is to specify who has the power to make decisions in a society. It decides how the government will be constituted, right? Then this has already been asked, which is the third function of a constitution, is to set some limits on what a government can impose on its citizens. 2023 it has been asked, and this constitutionalism as a term has already been repeated multiple times, like 3-4 times it has already been repeated, right? This is where it came from. Then fourth function has already been repeated in 2013, which is fourth function of constitution is to enable a government to fulfill the aspirations of a society and create conditions for a just society. Already been asked. Again, peach color. What is political identity as a term? It can be asked. What is moral identity as a term? It can be asked. Indian constitution, on the other hand, does not make ethnic identity a criterion for citizenship, right? Again, here, United Kingdom, for instance, do not have one single document that can be called constitution. A fact basically. India's constitution was formally created by a constituent assembly between December 1946 to 1949. Again, a factual item. The constitution drew enormous legitimacy from the fact that it was drawn up by the people who enjoyed immense public credibility. Could be asked, right? Indian constitution was never subjected to such a referendum. You need to know that as well. So it's basically, you can see, even though the chapter is quite big and we feel that everything is important, or we might see there are two scenarios, right? After reading NCRT, you might feel everything is important, or the second scenario can be you might feel nothing is important. right? So these two scenarios can happen. That's where this will help you actually, filter out the content, saying that, see, you can ignore everything else, but at least read the color coded ones. Right? This has already been asked, which is color coded in green, and it is already mentioned here which PYQ, like CDS PYQ 2014 it has been asked. So not just civil service examination, it's also considering all the other PYQs of the examinations, all the other examinations conducted by UPSC, right? CSE PYQ 2013 has been asked already. You can ignore everything else. Again, peach color coded, blue color coded. Need to pay extra attention here. Again, green. All right. I think you have got an idea on how this works. The principle behind the annotated NCERT is that to make beginners, when a beginner reads an NCERT, it needs to be in a most efficient manner. You should actually not identify what is important and not important in your fourth or fifth reading. That's basically the assumption, right? That's what generally people believe, that you need to complete 4 or 5 readings, and that's when you will understand what is important and what is not important. But I would say that there is nothing better than knowing what is important and not important in your first reading itself. So it will actually help you save your time a lot. Okay, here again, I actually showed you, right? So when you know that this has already been asked, when you know that this is the exact PYQ, I don't have to refer to any other source for searching if this particular is there any PYQ from this particular topic. It's an extra effort that needs to be done. Now I don't have to do it. Everything in one place. I can actually save my time reading NCERTs, and I can focus on my standard books after this. And NCERTs, when it comes to history, when it comes to ancient, medieval, and modern history, and when it comes to geography and polity, it becomes very, very important. And direct questions come from NCERT. There are no other proper standard sources for all these, right? Like polity, you have Lakshmi Kant, but still some questions, basic questions are asked from NCERT itself, like constitutionalism, right? So that's where NCERT plays an important picture, and annotated NCERTs will actually make your life much more easy. Not superficial reading, not ignoring certain sections, you disproportionately giving attention to certain sections of NCERTs and helping you extrapolate your knowledge, existing knowledge, and helping you score those difficult questions which are being asked by UPSC. Right? So that's all from my side. So this was about series annotated NCERTs. Hope you like this video. Thank you, everyone.